If you're like me, you probably enjoy a few drinks every now and then. My favorite drink would have to be the Long Island iced tea. It's cheap, and it tastes good, and it gets the job done. But for some people, drinks are like potato chips. You can't just have one. I have a personal story about drinking that I'll explain, and then we'll get on to the effects of alcohol on the body. So it was a few years ago. I lived in New York City. I attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Manhattan. I lived on the 14th floor of the New Yorker Hotel, which overlooked the Empire State Building. And it was one of the best times of my life. I was free. I didn't live at home. I attended school. I had many friends in my building. And what we like to do for fun, us just being in New York for the first time, was like to drink on the weekends. And that's what we would do to keep ourselves occupied if we weren't in class or anything like that. And it was a lot of fun. And I attended school for a year, and when school got out, I came back home. And when I came back home, it was completely different. I lived back home with my mom, and once again, I was under her roof. And I was bored. I didn't have nearly as many friends as I had when I lived in New York. It was a complete different change of scenery for me, and I was really depressed. And the only way I knew how to have fun was by drinking. So what I would do is I would go to the liquor store literally almost every night and get a bottle of vodka or something, and I would just drink and drink, and I could usually finish the whole liter of vodka in one night, and then with enough shots left over to take in the morning before I went to work the next day. And that's not good. My performance at work was declining. I was doing poorly at work. I was having problems with my family and friends. And life was really bad for me. And it came to the point that my mom actually threatened to send me to rehab. That's when I realized I actually needed to take control of things. So I basically did that. I slowed down on my drinking. I started performing better at work, and life was pretty good, and it's been that way since. One of the issues my mom has with drinking is that my father used to be a severe alcoholic, and he used to beat her when I was little. So she obviously didn't want me to turn out that way, so she was very concerned. But I'm a lot better now. So now I'm going to get on to the effects of alcohol and on the body. And I have some key points that I'll get to later on in my discussion. Alcohol is metabolized through the body very quickly and needs no time to digest. It can even reach the brain in 1 minute on an empty stomach. Once alcohol reaches the stomach, it begins to break down in an enzyme called dehydrogenase, which reduces the amount of alcohol entering the bloodstream by about 20%. Women have a lower amount of this enzyme in their body. That's why they get intoxicated much faster. You can find alcohol also 10% is released on your breath and in your urine. So it's not just in you, it can be released through your essence. Coming on from the stomach, alcohol is absorbed in the upper portion of the small intestine. The alcohol-infused blood then makes its next stop to the liver, affecting nearly every cell in the liver. The enzyme is heavily produced in the liver, which works to oxidize alcohol at an appropriate rate. Alcohol affects every organ in the body. Its greatest impact is on the liver. Liver cells generally like to have fatty acids to use as a fuel, turning them into triglycerides, which then is shipped off to the rest of the body. Once alcohol is introduced to the liver, the cells first metabolize the alcohol, letting fatty acids build up, and sometimes in huge amounts. This causes the permanent change of the liver cell structure, impairing the liver to metabolize fat. This leads to what is called fatty liver, or fatty liver disease, which you can see right here. This is a fatty liver of heavy alcohol consumption. Fatty liver disease results because the liver becomes clogged with fat, causing liver cells to become less efficient in doing their job, which over time messes with a person's health. Fatty liver disease is the first stage of deterioration in a heavy drinker. If a person drinks long enough, the liver cells will die, forming scar tissue. This process is known as fibrosis. This can be reversed if a person stops drinking and has overall good health. However, if a person doesn't stop drinking, cirrhosis will set in, and that is irreversible, and that's when you need really severe help. Excessive alcohol abuse causes not only fatty liver, but arthritis and gout. It can cause cancer, such as obviously liver cancer, pancreas cancer, rectum cancer, pharynx, mouth, and esophagus cancer. Over time, it can cause heart disease, as large amounts of large amounts of alcohol raise your blood pressure, which cause blood lipids, and that has potential to risk the cause of stroke and a heart attack. It causes hyperglycemia, which is the result of high blood sugar. It also causes hypoglycemia, which is the lowering of blood sugar. It can cause dementia and impairs balance and memory due to its effects on the nervous system. It can also cause depression, anxiety, and insomnia. And it takes just... So if you're drinking, it's important to drink in moderation. You don't want to overdrink. You don't want to be a heavy drinker at all. That's obviously not good for you. You want to avoid the health issues that I discussed in my speech. And there's a little questionnaire out there that if you answer yes to more than one question, then generally you have a problem with drinking. And the questions are, first, do you have a problem with alcohol? Second, have you ever felt you should cut down on your drinking? Third, have people annoyed you by criticizing your drinking? Fourth, have you ever felt bad or guilty about your drinking? Have you ever had a drink first thing in the morning to steady your nerves or to get rid of a hangover? And if you've answered yes to at least one of these, you may have a drinking problem. And there are places to help like AA or rehabilitation centers, and I found all my information on healthchecksystems.com. And going back to my diagram, this is what a normal liver should look like. It should be purple or red, dark blue, and small. So excessive alcohol consumption causes it to enlarge and turn into fatty tissues. Thank you.